The crucial lie exposed. What they told you about Satan's final destiny is a lie. You were led to believe that hell was a distant, ethereal concept, a metaphorical fire. That is false, and that belief is your biggest blind spot. The risk and the reward. Would you risk what religion taught you for a truth that will give you the immediate protection of knowing that your most ancient enemy has an address, a physical location on Earth that is not just a myth? It is a supermax prison, and we have the coordinates. Staying until the end is not an option. It is a necessity for survival. The element of intrigue. Why do the elite, why do global powers invest trillions to cover up the exact location of their enemy's future cell? Because those who control the secret of the prison control the end times agenda. And today, you will receive the key they never wanted you to find. Prepare to enter forbidden territory. What you are about to see will redefine your reality. To understand the prison, we must understand the prisoner. Satan and his fallen angels are not cartoon figures. They are gigantic entities of power, whose very presence warps reality. Most people make the mistake of underestimating the threat. Think of the power of a tsunami, the energy of a solar flare. Multiply that by the concept of eternity. This is why the prison location cannot be a mere cave. This script is not about theology. It is about containment engineering. Scripture describes a chains, in an abyss. The word used, abyssos, does not mean a metaphorical hole. In the ancient texts, the abyss is linked to the idea of a bottomless place, a reservoir of primordial, chaotic waters. This leads us directly to the sensory elements. What is ancient? When the fallen angels descended to earth, Genesis 6, they brought corruption with them. Their power was so vast that the only divine solution was a global flood. But what happened to the leaders of those angels? They were chained immediately. Their bodies, the flesh they used, are the evidence that physical containment is real. We are talking about structures that must contain the rage of beings who saw the face of God and chose rebellion. The prison location must be inherently dark, shadowy, due to its geological and spiritual nature. The tension rises. If the prison already exists and is working for the angels of Genesis 6, that means it is being prepared, or even expanded, for the leader. What this location holds is a power so great that the oceans and mountains serve only as exterior walls. This is the point where myth meets geology. We reach the core of the investigation. Where exactly is this prison? The secret is not in a single verse, but in the intersection of 3 geographic keys that appear in biblical, apocryphal, and even forbidden Sumerian texts. The first key is the location of the bottomless pit. Revelation speaks not of a spiritual descent, but of a place that will be opened. And what is inside? Smoke, locusts, and a key angel. The mystery lies in the door to this pit. The second key is the lawless land or desert. In ancient rabbinic texts, there's the idea of a place of total exile, far from any human civilization. Think of a landscape that is a punishment in itself, an area that civilizations instinctively avoid, gigantic in its desolation. The third and most explosive is the connection to the Mount of the Congregation. Isaiah 14 describes Lucifer's ambition to sit on the Mount of the Congregation in the sides of the north. Tradition points to Mount Hermon, Jabal ash-Sheikh, in the Middle East, a location already associated with the original descent of the fallen angels. But the prison location is the opposite of the place of ambition. It is not the throne, it is the dungeon. Combining these 3 keys, the investigation leads us to an area on the map that has been the focal point of political tensions and archaic mysteries for millennia. An area that, curiously, is constantly under military surveillance and is almost impossible for civilians to access. The prison is not a location. It is a natural geological confinement empowered by a divine decree. And now we will narrow the focus. We return to the central event that proves physical containment, Genesis 6. The 200 fallen angels descended on Mount Hermon. They chose a peak. The prison, logically, must be the opposite, the bottom. The law of spiritual polarity applied to geography. The Book of Enoch, a text forbidden for centuries, describes how the angels were punished. They were placed beneath the hills of the earth. But the punishment of the leader, Satan, will be different in scale. He will not just be buried. He will be confined to a place of extreme deprivation. This is where the Arctic Circle comes in. In ancient cosmological texts, the extreme north is consistently portrayed as the limit of order, where primordial chaos touches the earth. Think of the mountains and glaciers, gigantic and shadowy. However, there's a location even more shadowy, more isolated, and one that fulfills the function of the abyss in a geological manner: the ocean floor. Remember, the abyss is the primal water. The Mariana Trench? The depth reaches over 11,000 meters. The pressure is crushing. It is an environment that no being, not even an angelic one, can easily manipulate. The curiosity peaks now. The truth lies in an ancient tradition that connects the prison not to a mountain, but to a specific type of hole that exists in a region that is simultaneously aquatic and geological. And this is where we will confront the most shocking theory about the secret coordinates. Let's dive into the depths. Literally, the containment location cannot be on the surface, as the surface is destined to be governed by the Messiah. The prison must be below the throne, and it must use the elemental force of the earth itself against the prisoner. The key is plate tectonics, where tectonic plates meet, what we call subduction zones, are points of extreme energy and pressure. The ocean, with its abyssal trenches, is the perfect candidate for the abyss. But there is one specific point that stands out: the Bermuda Triangle. I know what you are thinking: popular myth. But why is the Bermuda Triangle a location of such intense magnetic anomalies? The secret theory is that this area is a geological plug over a point of immense instability, a location where the Earth's crust is thinnest and magma bubbles closer to the surface. It is ancient and chaotic. The records of planes and ships that disappear may actually be a byproduct of the magnetic and gravitational power being used to contain something below. The devil will not be chained with iron chains. He will be chained by geomagnetic forces used by the Creator. The location must, therefore, be a vortex, a point of convergence of force lines. The tension rises. We are getting close to the coordinates. The next step is to confront the only region on Earth that fits the description of abyss, lawless desert, and magnetic vortex simultaneously. It is a place that most people do not even know exists on the map. No more delays. The physical location that meets all the requirements of containment, of being shadowy, and a focal point of magnetic energy is the Weddell Sea in Antarctica. Why? Antarctica is the only continent that fits the description of lawless land or desert. It is isolated, untouched, and governed by treaties that keep it out of the control of a single nation. It is the Forbidden Continent. The Weddell Sea is notoriously difficult to navigate due to the ice and extreme weather conditions, but most importantly is the black vortex that exists beneath it. The Weddell Sea is the site of one of the world's largest oceanic gyres, a massive circular current that isolates the area. It is an underwater abyss, with water that is so dense and cold that it sinks, forming what oceanographers call bottom water. Geologically, it is a perfect isolation prison. The legend of Antarctica being linked to secret bases, Nazi and others, is not random. The elite has always known that there is something ancient and powerful beneath the ice. The true secret is not the rocket bases, it is the containment structure that exists within the Earth, protected by the Weddell Sea. The reward begins. Now that we have revealed the region, we move to the exact coordinates, which require us to decipher a numerical code within the Book of Revelation. You are about to see what NASA and reconnaissance satellites try to ignore. The great key to the location is the number 666 and the 1,000-year chaining period. These are not just symbolic numbers. In the ancient system of gematria, each letter corresponds to a numerical value. This is the forbidden knowledge that most do not have access to. Analysis of the word abyss, abyssos in Hebrew and Greek, combined with the phrase, "He threw him into the abyss," Revelation 20 verse 3, reveals a series of numerical values that, when converted into a contemporary geographical coordinate system, consistently point to the extreme south region. The mathematics behind the 1,000-year chaining is not about time, but about the safety distance the prisoner must have from the future center of government, Jerusalem. The calculation of the arc of a circle from Jerusalem, using the Roman mile value, which the Bible uses as a hidden unit of measure, leads to a containment radius that falls exactly over the Weddell Sea. This is not a coincidence. It is divine engineering encoded in the mathematics of Revelation. The containment location was not chosen randomly. It is the opposite, polar, and furthest point from the future throne of light on Earth, the most shadowy point. The curiosity peaks. The numbers give us the quadrant. But for the exact coordinates, we need one last element, the only magnetic anomaly that is gigantic enough to be the anchor of the chaining. For the containment of an angelic being, you need a force field. And that force field already exists, the South Atlantic Anomaly, SAA. This is the area where the Earth's magnetic field is weakest, and the radiation from the Van Allen belt is closest to the surface. It is the point of vulnerability. That's why satellites and the International Space Station shut down electronics when passing through here. What the elite hides is the truth about the SAA. It is not just a weakness, it is an energy conduit. The energy that leaves the Earth at the SAA is channeled to anchor a containment point on the opposite side of the globe. The line connecting the center of the SAA to the Earth's core emerges directly in the Weddell Sea. This is God's plan, to use the very vulnerability and chaos of our magnetic field to create a forbidden electromagnetic cell. The prison is not the Weddell Sea itself, but the subduction point beneath it, reinforced by the energy released through the South Atlantic Anomaly. The exact coordinates, therefore, are not a fixed point, but the center of the geomagnetic vortex in the Weddell Sea, where the depth reaches its maximum and the connection to the SAA is strongest. It is a place that Mother Earth herself is guarding. You are ready to see the numbers. It is time to face the truth that was hidden beneath meters of ice and coded in ancient texts. This is knowledge for survival. The center of the Weddell Sea. This region is almost equal to 75 ring operator S, is almost equal to 45 ring operator W, is one of the least explored places on the planet, constantly covered by ice. It is the ancient and the forbidden in landscape form. Why are the elite so afraid of you knowing this? If the devil has a physical prison, it means God's entire plan is literal. It means prophecy is a road map, not a poetic metaphor. It means Christ's return is a physical, imminent event. The knowledge of this location unmasks the narrative that evil is abstract. Evil has a final shipping address, and knowing this gives you a crucial strategic advantage. You will not fight against the fear of the unknown. You will fight with the certainty of a mapped-out endgame. The suspense development culminates now. The power of the giants and the fallen angels is real, but the power that will chain them has a location. You have received the knowledge. Now, what will you do with it? In the final part, we will talk about the immediate protection this knowledge offers you and the strategic next steps you need to take now to ensure your safety. You have received the coordinates. You have seen the divine engineering behind the gigantic prison of your enemy. This is not a tale. It is an investigative report on the future. The final reward is immediate protection. Knowing that the prophecy is literal forces you to take preparation seriously. This knowledge should not generate paralyzing fear, but rather an obligation to act.